I've said this in other videos, but basically I felt better instantly. The first 2 days were amazing. Then the following 2 days weren't so good. I felt really sick and had the pain again and was terrified it hadn't worked. And nobody in the hospital seemed to know a lot about post FMT care. Hey everyone, it's Liz here. I thought I would do an update on my post C diff, post FMT issues. I said I'd probably do one every couple of weeks. Yesterday marked exactly a month since I've been home, which is amazing because before I only lasted 10 days. Those of you that haven't followed my journey as to how I got C diff or my long time in hospital, please go click up here. Obviously, if you're just coming here to find out about the FMT and things like that, then stay tuned. In a nutshell, I got C diff for being in hospital a long time. I've got an autoimmune disease called Sjogren's as well, and I got C diff and was in isolation for 5 weeks in total. The first week I was on metronidazole antibiotic, then I came off that, the C diff came straight back. So I was on vancomycin for a week, went home because I felt better, had another week of it at home, then 3 days after stopped it at home, it came back again. So I went back into hospital and back into isolation, and they just and back on vancomycin, and they did an FMT Faecal Microbiome Transplant. I've said this in other videos, but basically I felt better instantly. The first 2 days were amazing. Then the following 2 days weren't so good. I felt really sick and had the pain again and was terrified it hadn't worked. And nobody in the hospital seemed to know a lot about post FMT care, things like that. So I did most of my research online, not a lot in the UK actually, mostly in America, and I also joined a Facebook support group which also is based in America, but lots of people have had lots of different experiences, some good, some bad, some the same as me. But for me, I'm doing, I'd say 85% better. I wouldn't say 100% because they did say it can take 5 to 6 weeks for it to, properly work. And I am usually the slow one when it comes to things like, oh, you'll feel better in a week, and I take like 4 or 5 weeks. But I've been really careful. I've followed a really strict diet at first. It's not so strict now, but I've been on the FODMAP diet for 10 years anyway because of other health issues. So I don't have dairy. I'm intolerant to milk. So I don't have any dairy anyway. I have dairy substitutes. I don't like spicy food. I don't like tea and coffee. I'm allergic to like tomatoes, onions, garlic, all that kind of stuff that could aggravate things. So I probably have put on about half a stone, which is 7 pounds, since I've had it, because or maybe not quite that much, 5 pounds maybe, I don't know. Anyway, because I've been finding that carbs are the only things that don't affect it. But the amazing thing is I haven't had diarrhea since before the FMT. So when I came home at first, my stools or poo, I'm going to call it poo because that's what it is, everyone knows, don't skirt around it saying feces or stools, and it's poo. It was like rabbit droppings, so that's what happens usually when I'm quite constipated and dehydrated. So I get the urge to go and it would be like little tiny nuggets of poo. And that was like that for about a week and a half, and then slowly, and this is something that hasn't happened to me for, well, certainly not last year. Last year I had diarrhea all the time, no one knew why, probably C diff, but who knows. But I haven't had a normal, what I call normal stool, poo, whatever, maybe for 5-6 years. I'd have bleeding, I'd either be constipated or diarrhea because I've got gastroparesis. And the more I read about the FMT, it says that it can help with other things other than C diff, like colitis. It can make Crohn's improved. I don't think it can cure it because it's an autoimmune thing, but who knows. It says something about Parkinson's. I'm not quite sure how that's related. And for me, my gastroparesis is behaving. I'm eating things that I couldn't eat before the FMT. So I used to be on a really low fibre diet, soluble fibre, because my stomach is so slow it can't process it. But I've been having these vegan bars, which are like peanuts, dried coconut. It's got crushed chickpeas, sunflower seeds. I mean, I never would dream of having that before, but I've heard the fibre really helps post FMT. I also started having Biomel, which is in the UK a chocolatey probiotic drink. The reason I have to have that is because I'm intolerant to any milk. So some people go, oh, kefir is great, it's not much milk. Literally any milk makes me so ill. I'm vomiting, diarrhea, pain, all that. So I'm sticking to that, which helped. And kombucha is something I've had before, but I have to be really careful because I have a thing called mast cell activation disorder, and my histamine levels are much higher. It's like having the worst hay fever, but inside of your body all year. So I get the runny nose and the itchy eyes and the sore eyes, but I also get terrible stomach issues, skin issues, itching, all sorts. And I noticed that when I had the equinox too much, I wouldn't sleep very well. I'd have worse stomach pains, I'd be very itchy and things like that. So I haven't really had any of that now for about a week, because I feel like enough time's passed, so I don't need that. But I'm having a normal poo, and that I class by it's not tarry, it's not sticking to the bowl, it's fully formed, it's a normal colour, and when I need to go I can go. I'm not constipated and I'm not in pain. I've had no spasms at all. Saying that, I do get pain, like a really dull ache, almost like a really kind of, my stomach is aching but not too bad. The only thing I found really bizarre is that I keep having quite bad nausea, but it comes in waves. So 1 second I'll think, oh, I feel really sick, I'm going to take an anti-nausea tablet, and then within about 5 minutes it's gone and I'm starving. So I'm not really sure what's happening there, but I'm still taking my anti-nausea tablets. Obviously my biggest concern is at this time of year in the winter, especially in the UK, there's so many people who are ill with colds, coughs, chest infections, any kind of infections. I have to stay clear of. And obviously the other thing is I'm like most people under this cloud of what if it comes back, because I think that the transplant has definitely worked. My stomach is growing good bacteria again, and I feel like it's worked, even though I'm still not 100%. But if I ever get an infection, which for me, I'm like infection queen, I get all sorts of different random infections, like sinus infections, throat infections, chest infections, UTIs, all sorts. What if I get them? Because I can't take antibiotics. If I was life or death, I'd have to. I don't want the C diff to come back, because it took the best part of 4 months to kind of get rid of, because the symptoms started last year, but obviously they built up and up and up, and I did have quite a lot of antibiotics in the middle part of this year, but not immediately before the C diff. So I don't really know, but my experience of the FMT is really good, especially in the UK. I don't think a lot of people know. I've seen a few nurses for various blood tests and things since, and I've told them what I had, and none of them have heard of it. I know in the US it's harder to get because a lot of insurers don't cover that procedure, but if you can afford it, or if you can find someone that does it, please do it, because I see on my support group that a lot of people said, oh, I've got C diff for the 5th time, and people, I'm just like, don't suffer. You literally, the FMT I think has something crazy like there's only 30% of people it doesn't work for, and then if you have another one, it's like 100% guaranteed to work. So obviously there are some really rare cases where it still doesn't work, and I've known people on the support groups who've actually had to have an ileostomy bag fitted, like they've had to have the bowel removed and all sorts. But that is so rare. I stress that it's really rare. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. Obviously I was in a hospital for other things too, which are still ongoing and still not really sorted, but bowel wise things are getting better. That is good for the holiday season because there's good food. I'm going to be really careful not to overdo it, because I do find at the moment the only thing that's weird for me is I get really hungry and my eyes are too big for my belly, which is me, but then I'll start eating and I'll have too much and then I just feel sick, and so I feel really hungry but actually I can't eat that much, so it's a weird sensation really. Yeah, so hopefully that's useful. If you want to comment below on your experiences of FMT or C diff, where you live, what the treatment's like there, or if you want to know more about the procedure itself, because obviously I haven't explained the FMT procedure, but I'm guessing if you clicked on this video you know what it is. So yeah, please hit the subscribe button, because I'll be doing regular updates further on into the recovery process, and also please hit the notification bell because that really helps my channel, and lets you know when I next post a video. So hope those of you that are watching this are doing okay and can benefit from my help or experience. So take care everyone, bye.